Hey y'all, it's Alec with Sharing the Journey. We have got a huge winter storm blowing in, and they are saying it's going to be accompanied with snow, ice, and freezing rain, sleet, and they are saying that there's a possibility that we may be without power. So, as the manager of this campground, I've had some of our residents that are new to the RV life come to me and say, Alec, what do we do if we don't have power in our camper? So I put together a list of things that you can do to help manage the situation. So the first thing you need to do is go outside and check your RV's power. Because not always is it a total blackout in the area. Sometimes it could just be an issue with your RV. So go check your stanchion, see if you have power coming in. Now, so we use a SureGuard surge protector on our camper. So if there's power coming in to the line to our camper, there should be lights on the surge protector telling us if everything's good with the power. If there is no lights lit up, you know there's no power coming from the stanchion into your RV power cord. Well, first thing you can do is you can check to see if the breaker's on. Lots of times the breakers flip because you've overloaded them or something like that. And if the breaker is off, switch the breaker back on and you have power again. You got to make sure all of the systems that you're hooked up to are working properly. If they aren't, call the campground that you're at and have them check to see if the whole campground's out of power. If not, have them come and check your power stanchion. Once you determine that the power is not on, then the first thing I would do is check your alternative power sources. A lot of new campers have lithium batteries and they have solar panels. I don't have I don't have either of those, but if you have those, you need to go make sure that the solar panel is cleaned off. You need to make sure that the inverter system is working. Check your batteries to make sure they're charging. And if they're not, you need to troubleshoot or diagnose what the problem is. A lot of the equipment has an 800 number you can call so that you can get a representative from the company to help you troubleshoot what is going on with that system. Now for us, the only solar panel we have is for our solar generators. Now we have 3 different solar generators, and I have 2 600 watt and 1 220 watt. So none of my solar generators are big enough to run our RV, but we can use them to keep our devices charged, to maybe run a small electric blanket for a period of time to help keep us warm, to possibly run the fan on our propane heater if we have it electrically wired where we can hook our solar generator up to it. But the important thing is that I do have a solar panel and the adapters to where I can charge all 3 solar generators off of my solar panel. So I would check the levels of your solar generators, and then I would, whichever one's the lowest level, I would hook the panel up, go ahead and get it outside into a place to where you can start capturing some of that energy. Number 3 is manage your battery usage. Now, one thing we did on our coach is our motorhome comes standard with 2 lead acid batteries. I added 2 more, so we have a total of 4, so that we can go longer periods of time. But you need to make sure you don't have anything on that is going to waste your batteries. Anything that's drawing unwanted power usage. Lots of times we have devices that are plugged in, like example, I have a, you've probably seen the video, I have a gnat collection device in my camper. It's got a blue light that runs, it sucks and a fan, it sucks the gnats in. Well, that is using a little bit of power, but it is using power. I want to unplug all that stuff to make sure we're not wasting what little power resource we have. You need to prioritize your lights, your refrigerator, and your basic electronics. Everything else needs to be turned off. If you can turn the heat on and off as needed, I would do that. Now, currently it is 29 degrees here in South Carolina, and they're not expecting it to get above freezing until a little bit later this afternoon, and just for a few hours. If you have a generator, now is the time to use it. Now, my generator I had an auto-gen system put on it, so when we have an electrical failure, I have it preset that when my batteries get to a certain level, the generator automatically cranks and starts charging the batteries. Well, with the generator, you need to make sure that you have enough fuel for it to run for an extended period of time. Now, mine is plumbed straight into our fuel system, and I make sure that I stop at the closest gas station to where I'm camping and top off my system. So I have 90 gallons of gas, and the way mine is plumbed is I can use 3/4 of that, and then after that the generator will not start. So you got to make sure you have plenty of fuel. Make sure that if you have a generator, you have followed the maintenance required to keep that generator running. I try to crank my generator. You're supposed to do it every month, but I try to crank it every other month. Let it run for an hour, most of that time under load, so that the generator's always working. Now, with the generator, they burn a little bit of oil by nature, so you need to make sure that you have oil for the generator, because if the generator's oil gets to a certain percentage, then the generator automatically turns off to preserve itself from having a major catastrophe. So I keep several quarts of oil for the generator to make sure that the generator is functioning when I need it and for as long as I need it. So with 90 gallons of gas, I can run that generator for probably weeks. Now, if you don't have a generator, you don't have solar panels, you need to at least make sure that you have plenty of things that will keep you warm. Depending on the season, you're going to need extra blankets, sleeping bags. If it's in the summer, you need a good ventilation system, maybe a fan that you can run off a solar generator or something like that, so you can keep air moving through your camper. Right now, we're worried about staying warm. We have a coffee table that the top comes up on, and we keep 6 extra blankets in there. Now, one thing in preparing for this video, one thing I need to add to my stash is some cold weather sleeping bags. You can get those fairly inexpensively, and at least you can get in that sleeping bag if you're in very cold climate and help keep you warm. Food safety. You need to keep your refrigerator closed as much as possible to maintain its temperature. If you have to, consume your perishable items first, and save all your other items that will last longer for longer. We have one of those Buge RV 30-quart refrigerator freezers that will plug into our solar generator. It's got an eco mode, so I can transfer things into that, plug it into one of my solar generators, and that will help me keep food for longer. And these solar generators you can pick up for $200, $300, $400. These portable refrigerator freezers, the same. You can pick them up. The prices come way down for a lot less. I'll list a few that we have, that we currently use, in the description of this video if you want to look at what I'm talking about. Stay informed. Use a battery-powered or a solar-powered radio to stay up to date with all the current weather situations. Additionally, if you have a smartphone, which most people do, you can go to the app for the Weather Channel or WeatherBug or one of these and also stay up to date. The problem I find with my cell phone, though, is once I open it up, I tend to start scrolling through Facebook and YouTube and all these other places and wasting a lot of energy that needs to be saved. Because if you deplete your phone's battery, then you have to hook it up to an alternative source to then recharge it. And that's going to use power that you could use for something else. Number 8, plan for long-term power outages. You know, in 1977, which I know seems like a million years ago, we had a very bad ice storm hit Columbia, South Carolina, where I was living as a child at the time. And we all went to my grandparents' house because my grandparents had planned for long-term or longer outages. They had propane heat in a fireplace. You know, we've got a propane fire pit, and we have a portable outside gazebo, and that tent or gazebo will heat up very well, and it keeps the heat in. We can go out there with the propane fire pit and stay warm. Alternatives for cooking. I have a Blackstone that has propane, and I will tell you, propane is important. I keep 2 30-pound bottles, a 20-pound bottle, plus my onboard propane, which is another, I think it's 28 gallons that my camper holds. So make sure that you have plenty of propane so you can cook on a grill or a Blackstone. And you have plenty to run your fire pit or your little buddy heater. A lot of people who lose power in an RV, they will put a propane cylinder just outside one of the windows of the RV because you got to have it cracked a little bit. Run an extended hose through the window and put a little buddy heater in there running off a 20 or 30-pound cylinder, and they will use that to keep their camper warm. So you have to think of alternative heat sources and cooking sources so you can make it through a longer outage. Now, number 9 is reach out for help. If you know you're in an area that's prone to outages, connect with some fellow RVers, local campers, churches, shelters, other people that are willing to help you through this temporary hard time. By following these steps, you can manage your power outages efficiently while living your best life on the road full-time in your RV, or help you get through a vacation that's gone bad. So until next time, please come back and visit our channel and stay tuned for our latest videos. Thank you for watching.